In a city that had been destroyed, there was a man walking, and he seemed to be sighing, and he said, "That's annoying." But around the man was a group of monsters who were watching him. The man also realized the presence of the monsters. He immediately stopped his steps and looked around. Then he said, "Why are they running here and disturbing people? Is this around Anyang?" Then the man saw 3 monsters that were eating humans. The man said, "I found him. But it looks like he's already been eaten." That's subjective. Then the 3 monsters realized there was a person behind them, and a notification from the system appeared telling the man that they were glaring at you. The man sighed and said, "What can I do about that insincere name?" Then the 3 monsters quickly moved towards the man, and they immediately pulled out their claws. The man took out his dagger and the system said, "You trigger addition. You trigger multiplication." Then, with one slash, the 3 monsters were defeated by the man. After that, the man went straight to his base again. The place had a very large and tall gate, and the place looked like a fortress. The man immediately knocked on the gate, and he said, "Hey, open the gate." Then his friend came to open the gate, and he said, "Hyung, are you here?" That person was a hard player named Jum Jum Jun. After that, the man entered the gate and said, "I'm sick of this. Can't you make other people do this?" Jum Jum Jun replied, "No one else did it except you, Hyung. But what about the person who ran away?" The man replied, "He died. All his body parts were eaten by monsters." Jum Jun was surprised to hear that and said, "But there were 3 classes of monsters that ate him." The man replied, "Yes, something like that." After hearing such an answer, Jum Jung Jun thought that class of monsters are as strong as hard mode players. It's dangerous if there are 3 of them around. We have to deal with them quickly. He then asked the man, "Hyung, where are they?" And the man replied, "I killed them all." Jum Jung Jun replied, "I understand." The man left immediately and said, "I'm hungry, let's eat." Jum Jung Jun said, "Hyung, be honest with me. Come, you're not really an easy mode player, right?" Then we are finally introduced by the main player. The man is an easy player named Kang Ta-san. Kang Ta-san thought it was a stupid question, and he said, "What kind of nonsense is that? There are many people who have passed through the maze with me. Why don't you ask them?" Before Kang Ta-san could finish his speech, Jum Jung Jun said, "All easy players are dead now except you, right? Even the ones who joined from time to time died in 2 days." Kang Ta-san said, "Is that so?" Jum Jung Jun continued to press his question, and he said, "Honestly, how can easy players survive in the current situation? Even normal player can barely survive, so it's strange that you can survive until now. How can you be so strong? I'm also a hard mode player, but I'm sure I'm no match for you." After hearing such words, Kang Ta-san was silent for a moment, and he immediately said, "That's because you guys conquered that place in a haphazard manner." Jum Jung Jun said, "Look, that excuse again." Then they got to the dining room, where Kang Ta-san got his food, but he didn't look very happy, and he said, "What's with the potatoes again? Can't they grow something else? You have sweet potatoes and corn too, right?" Jum Jung Jun said, "No, but aren't potatoes the most efficient food, right? Even with this simple cultivation skill, we have a limit to the amount we can produce." Jum Jung Jun asked Hyung, "Did you not learn the simple cultivation skill?" Kang Ta-san replied, "How can easy player learn it? There's plenty of food everywhere." Jum Jung Jun said, "I think that's true too." Then, when they were eating their food, outside the dining room there was an angry person, and that person seemed to be angry with a man there. The person pulled the man's shirt and shouted, "Don't make me laugh. That's impossible." The man said, "Friend, calm down first." Kang Ta-san immediately saw them, and he said, "Looks like the other person who conquered the maze is here again." Jum Jung Jun said, "It seems so." The commotion continued, the place became chaotic. Kang Ta-san said this time he will be pressured after making a scene, and he might need to listen to the explanation step by step. Jum Jung Jun said, "Yes. It seems like that person is a tough player, right? I think you should interfere, Hyung." Then the people outside shouted for Kang Ta-san. They shouted, "Ta-san, hurry up and help us. It's not just a commotion. That person had made a lot of mess there." He said, "Don't make me laugh. How did Earth become like this? It should have been over when I came back to Earth. Is there a hidden camera? Don't mess with me." Kang Ta-san came out of the dining room, and he immediately asked the soldier who was there. He said, "What about Li Taidian?" The soldier said, "He's out for reconnaissance right now." Then an old man came up to him, and he said, "Easy boy, this is Earth. The world has changed a lot while you were in the labyrinth. So please calm down and let's talk." The person immediately slapped the old man and he said, "I told you not to make me laugh." Seeing that things had gotten out of hand, Kang Ta-san said, "I think I should interfere." Jung Jung-jun smiled and said, "Have fun." Kang Ta-san said, "If my fart runs out when I get back, I'll kill you." Jung Jung-jun, who originally smiled happily because he could get 2 potatoes, after hearing those words he immediately felt a little scared. Kang Ta-san immediately approached the person and he said, "Unfortunately, you are on Earth, and humanity is dying right now." The person said, "Don't make me laugh." Kang Ta-san said, "Is that your habit?" The person yelled at Kang Ta-san. He said, "This can't be Earth. You have so many players but can't stop that monster. Don't lie to me." Kang Ta-san did not respond to that person and he just said, "It started again." Then Kang Ta-san explained that most of the players who return to Earth from the labyrinth, that person will not be able to accept the state of Earth like this, and they go crazy because of it. And that is a common occurrence and is not something that is easily accepted. Kang Ta-san saw it and he said, "Then there is only one way." Then Kang Ta-san said to that person, "Well, it looks like I have to beat you up first so that you can accept reality. What's your name?" Then the request for a duel came up. The person replied, "My name is Lee Chang-chun." "Duel? Who are you?" Kang Ta-san replied, "My name is Kang Ta-san." Upon hearing the name, Lee Chang-chun immediately made a gesture like he was belittling Ta-san. He said, "Kang Ta-san, the guy who always talks a lot in the community about the topic of easy mode player, that's funny. Easy player dares to ask for a duel with hard player? Do you know that the strength of the players varies greatly depending on the difficulty level?" Kang Ta-san said, "Shut up and move forward. If you win, I will show you the real world that you want so badly." Lee Chang-chun was challenged by Kang Ta-san's words. He immediately took out his sword, and he said, "Don't regret it later. I don't even care if you die from my attack later." Then, Lee Chang-chun also issued his skill. The system appeared and showed us he was activating augmentation, a skill that can make half of the basic attack power added. Next, he activated focus, skills that make attacks have a high chance of hitting the target. Then the last one, he activated strong attack, skills that make the attack will cause significant damage to the next attack. After that, Kang Ta-san said, "Both addition and strong attack are activated." "That's good." Then Lee Chang-chun very quickly moved towards Kang Ta-san, and he immediately released his slash. Kang Ta-san just stood there watching the man attacking him. Then the attack created a big explosion. After that, the message from the system appeared. It was written that the cancellation of the first attack on Kang Ta-san was activated. Then the system informed that Kang Ta-san received 0 damage. Lee Chang-chun was surprised to see that his attack had no effect. After that, the smoke began to fade, and there was seen that Kang Ta-san was holding his sword, and he casually said, "That's it." Lee Chang-chun was surprised to see that, and he said, "Did my attack not work? He cancelled my first attack. I've never heard of such a thing." Then when he was trying to get his sword back, Kang Ta-san immediately prepared his attack and he said, "It's my turn now." Then Kang Ta-san immediately punched his stomach, but Lee Chang-chun's defense skill activated and it caused the damage he received to be reduced by half. But Kang Ta-san has a skill that can ignore all the defenses and skills possessed by his opponent. Then the system informed that Kang Ta-san only dealt 49 damage to Lee Chang-chun. Lee Chang-chun said only 49 damage. That's right. Stats are absolute, and the level difference between easy and hard players cannot be narrowed down. Then he managed to remove his sword from Kang Ta-san's grasp. Kang Ta-san clenched his fist again and said, "You have more than 10,000 health, right?" Kang Ta-san then activated skill addition, which made his attack twice as strong. Then he activated the multiplication skill, which made his attack double and made his attack 4 times stronger. And he activated the ultimate judgment skill, which allowed him to ignore all defenses and defense skills from the opponent. Lee Chang-chun was frightened by the attack, and he said, "Wait." Then Kang Ta-san said, "Feel this." Then Kang Ta-san just hit the back of his head slowly, but even though he attacked him slowly, his attack could make a very strong explosion and make the ground there crumble. Lee Chang-chun immediately fell to the ground, and he immediately received 4604 damage. After that, Kang Ta-san immediately said, "Do you accept it now? This is really Earth." While moaning in pain, Lee Chang-chun said, "Don't make me laugh. Then he immediately cried and said, "Why? Why did the world become like this? If I knew it was going to be like this, I wouldn't have conquered the labyrinth." In the past, when the world was still peaceful, one day the sky suddenly split open and monsters appeared out. Then a choice was presented to humans. They were given the opportunity to enter the maze by choosing their own difficulty level, and they had to conquer the maze and return to Earth. To an Earth filled with monsters, which is bound for destruction. After that, King Tassan said, "What can we do now? We must try our best to save the world, even if it's like this." After that, Jung Jung Jun came up to King Tassan and he said, "Hyung, you've worked hard." King Tassan said, "Are you still here?" Jung Jung Jun replied, "Of course I came to see my brother in action." King Tassan said, "Stop your nonsense." Jung Jung Jun said, "But you're really amazing." Even for a hard player, that was a crushing blow. After the fight, Li Changchun was helped to his feet by the old man he had slapped earlier and took him to a rest tent. There Li Changchun was still crying because he still couldn't accept the fact that the earth had become like this. After that, Jung Jun Jun threw the potato that was previously left to him. King Tassan also responded to the words given by Jung Jun Jun before it. He said, "Is there something impressive about defeating a weak person like that?" Jung Jun Jun said, "It's not that he's weak, but you're too strong." King Tassan immediately ate the potatoes and he said, "The food is getting cold. This is why I don't want to go." Jung Jun Jun asked, "But really, what's with the doubling skill? Absolute judgment, negligible endurance? Where did that kind of skill come from? First strike cancelled? What kind of skill is that? There are skills that only you have. Where did you get it?" King Tassan replied, "I got it through hard work." Jung Jung Jun said, "You keep saying that." Then, there were many people cheering. Jung Jung Jun said, "Is there another new player here? What a great day." King Tassan said, "I don't think so." And there was a girl who had just arrived, and the people around her were welcoming her happily. King Tassan looked at that person and he said, "Looks like Li Tadian is back." After that, King Tassan went to the residence of a player. There it was seen that his house had a lot of very interesting and rare decorations. King Tassan said, "Even though humanity will soon be extinct, you are still fussing about decorations." King Tassan also spoke to that person. He said, "You are still obsessed with something like this." Then King Tassan saw that there was a very big painting there, and the painting looked very good. King Tassan thought that outside, where all kinds of monsters are roaming around, a person who can carry such a big painting without a single scratch. The only human who quickly completed his mode. Then King Tassan spoke to that person. He said, "Why is the strongest human a woman like you, Li Tadian?" It turned out that the person who had a house full of decorations like that was Li Tadian, and there he was sitting in his chair leisurely. Then he said, "Especially in times like this, obsession with something is important. How about having a hobby like me?" King Tassan said, "We'll talk about it when you have some free time." Then, "Why did you call me here?" Li Tadian said, "Beginners in hard mode, did you educate them? Easy mode players beat up hard mode players. It's a strange story whenever you hear it." Then, Li Tadian showed his status, and the screen of his status was being shown to King Tassan, and it was also written that the target is in a state of fear. After Li Tadian showed his status, King Tassan said, "Are you bragging?" Li Tadian said, "Just a simple check." "Show me your status too." Then King Tassan also showed his status, and he said, "It feels like bragging." It's easy for players to feel sorry for themselves, isn't it? Then it was seen that the status of King Tassan was very far when compared to Li Tadian, and it was also written that target is in prima. After that, Li Tadian immediately checked his status and he said, "As expected, you are very weak." King Tassan said, "Are you suggesting we fight?" Li Tadian said, "Didn't I say it was just a simple check? But for an easy player, you're pretty good." Then it was explained that the maze was divided into 4 different difficulties. When players conquer the maze, all growth will stop, making it impossible for players to become stronger. The power gap depends on the difficulty level, and the stats possessed by hard players were definitely higher than Tassan's. However, none of them could withstand even a single attack from Tassan. The reason was the skill that Tassan possessed. After that, Li Tadian took out an object that looked like a pen, and he said, "Stay there." Then Li Tadian activated the addition skill, which made him gain half the power of the basic attack. Then he activated the double attack skill, which made his attack twice as powerful. And he also activated the definite attack skill, which made his attack sure to hit its target. After that, Li Taiyan directly attacked Kang Ta-san, and his attack made a tremendous wind slash. Then the slash directly hit Kang Ta-san and created a huge explosion. And there it is explained that skills can be obtained regardless of the difficulty level. And one of the skills possessed by Ta-san was absolute cancellation of the first attack. Due to that skill, Kang Ta-san did not receive any damage, even though the attack could make the wall behind Ta-san shatter into pieces. After Kang Ta-san said, "What are you doing?" Li Taiyan said, "Just now. Nothing. Absolute attack cancellation, absolute judgment, multi-layered attack, many time stop. Skills that don't make sense. Do you have about 200 skills?" Kang Ta-san said about 230. Li Taiyan said, "You said that the skills were acquired while playing in the tower element, right? We should understand the tower completely like you. We should strive to be the strongest, not just focus on conquering it." Kang Ta-san replied, "Who knows? That's all in the past." Li Taiyan said, "That's not necessarily true. Anyway, you're amazing. If you play in alone mode, we might have a chance to win." Then it was explained that Ta-san's skills were strong, but they were mostly used based on her stats, so the current Ta-san couldn't even use half of his skills. After that, Kang Ta-san said, "Can we stop talking about it now? Let's get straight to the point. You went for reconnaissance, right?" Li Taiyan replied, "That's right. And the monster wave is about to attack." Upon hearing that, Kang Ta-san was immediately shocked, because he knew that the monster wave was a very bad event. Then Kang Ta-san said it's over. Then Kang Ta-san thought that the next wave will start soon. Every time a wave starts, many people die, and the territory shrinks significantly. In the first wave, humanity lost Seoul. In the second wave, half of the formidable players lost their lives. In the third wave, we could only defend a small town. And this is the fourth wave. Then Kang Ta-san asked, "How many monsters are there?" Li Taiyan replied, 2 S-class, dozens of A-class, hundreds of B-class, and the apostles. Upon hearing that, Kang Ta-san immediately stroked his head, and he thought, in a situation where even Li Taiyan can barely handle 2 S-classes, we don't have enough hard players to handle the A-classes. And an apostle who surpasses the S-class. Is defeat inevitable? After which Li Taiyan said, "But we have to fight. Ta-san, please handle the 2 S-classes." Kang Ta-san said, "Do you want me to die?" Li Taiyan said, "I have to face the apostles, and no one else can handle the S-class. You know this, right?" Kang Ta-san went straight to the exit and said, "That's a tough ask." Li Taiyan said, "Should I announce it?" Kang Ta-san said, "We should at least prepare mentally." "Should I let them die without knowing anything?" Li Taiyan said, "That might make me happier." While leaving the room, Kang Ta-san said, "I don't think so." Then he immediately left the room. After seeing Kang Ta-san leave, with a smile, Li Taiyan said, "Ta-san, you are strong. You can lead us to victory." But after saying that, Li Taiyan immediately showed a sad expression, and he said, "But I'm just a coward." Then there was seen that Li Taiyan was holding an object in his hand. After that, the players who had heard about the upcoming fourth wave, they all looked depressed, and many players were crying. Jum Jung-gun sighed and said, "I knew this day would come, but this is really disgusting." Kang Ta-san asked Jum Jung-gun, "What about you?" Jum Jung-gun replied, "I can't complain. Given the situation where everyone is dying, I've lived long enough. It's almost like a luxury." Kang Ta-san asked, "What does luxury have to do with death?" After which Kang Ta-san saw Li Chang-chun, who looked like a depressed person. Kang Ta-san said, "Come to think of it, he's quite pathetic." Jum Jung-gun also said, "Yes, I guess. After struggling to erase all of this, he might have to die right on the day that he can see the outside world. She's really unlucky." Jum Jung-gun asked Kang Ta-san, "What about you, Hyung?" Then the sky turned dark and red lightning was striking everywhere. Jum Jung-gun continued to say, "To be honest, you seem to be the most frustrated. If we put in half the effort you put in, we wouldn't be facing extinction, right?" Kang Ta-san said, "Yes, I'm so frustrated that I could die. Is that enough?" Then the portal opened and the monsters came out from there, and there were so many of them. Seeing so many monsters appear, Jum Jung-gun said, "Wow, I'm going crazy. Who should you fight, Young?" Kang Ta-san replied, 2 S-classes. After hearing that answer, Jum Jung-gun said, "See you in the afterlife. I guess you'll be leaving first. Please wait for me." Kang Ta-san replied, "Understood." Then he activated the Great Leap skill, and Kang Ta-san immediately jumped forward so high. After that he reached a height higher than the clouds, and he immediately activated the full scouting skill. And he opened the map screen and there were so many red spots in front of him, but on the map there were 2 large red spots. After that Kang Ta-san said they found it, and he immediately landed to that point, and there was a monster that was so big and scary. The system told him that he was making eye contact with something bad. Then Kang Ta-san looked at the monsters and said, "Are you happy?" Then the system immediately checked him. The system told him that insanity check is in progress, confusion check is in progress, fear check is in progress, immediate death is in progress. Then Kang Ta-san immediately took out his sword and the system said, "All checks were successful. You persevered with an indomitable spirit. Your mind will never break. Your body is imbued with unyielding endurance." Then Kang Ta-san valiantly stood in front of them all and said, "Die, you bastards." Kang Ta-san continued to look at the 2 monsters, and the monsters had not made any movements either. Kang Ta-san said, "Everything will be fine as long as they are not defensive-type monsters." After that, Kang Ta-san immediately prepared his fighting position, and he activated the full recon skill. The system informed him that the opponent he was facing was Monster 7, which was a defensive-type monster, and had a health count that almost touched 150 million. The monster immediately attacked Ta-san, but he was quickly able to avoid the attack by using the body time acceleration skill, and after that Kang Ta-san said, 148 million blood? What a joke. It will take forever to kill you. Then, what about the other monster? The system told him that the creature was Monster 5, which was a ranged attack type monster, and had a health count that almost touched 1,300,000. Kang Ta-san said 1,300,000? It seems like this monster is easier to defeat, I guess. Then, Kang Ta-san lunged at the monster, and he said, "Even if it's going to be difficult." The monster tried to attack Ta-san using its tentacles, but Kang Ta-san quickly attacked all the tentacles using his 3 slashes, and the system told him that he had dealt 42 damage to Monster 5, 38 damage to Monster 5, and 32 damage to Monster 5. Kang Ta-san said, "Damage is reduced when attacking tentacles. I must aim for the head." Kang Ta-san immediately moved towards its head, but the monster did not stand still. The monster released its magic power in its tentacles and gathered all its tentacles. Then the monster shot its enormous magic at Ta-san. Kang Ta-san was hit by the attack, but because Ta-san had the absolute nullification skill on the first attack, he did not receive any damage. But Kang Ta-san was slightly pushed by the attack and he said, "It looks like the attack will shoot in whichever direction the tentacles are aiming." There is no pause, and it is almost impossible to dodge it after seeing it. That means all one can do is to predict its trajectory. Kang Ta-san then focused his gaze on the path of the attack, and he said, "If I try hard enough and predict the attack path accurately, I should be able to avoid the attack. But the slower I understand it, the more I will be at a disadvantage." Then Kang Ta-san activated the acceleration skill, and he quickly rammed into the monster, and he said, "I have to move as fast as I can." Kang Ta-san thrust his sword straight into the monster's head, and the attack dealt 48 damage, and the monster attacked Ta-san again using its tentacles, but Kang Ta-san had the absolute nullification skill on the second attack, and Ta-san did not receive any damage to himself. Then the monster looked a little dying and the monster vomited a little blood from its mouth. Then the monster immediately fell to the ground. Kang Ta-san saw that it was his chance to attack. Ta-san immediately jumped and tried to attack the monster with his sword, but suddenly Monster 7 came and looked like he was protecting the monster. Kang Ta-san said, "He's protecting it." Defensive-type monsters protect ranged attackers when they are in danger. That's probably why they were put together in the first place. But seeing this situation, Kang Ta-san smiled and said, "Gotcha." Then, Kang Ta-san lunged at Monster 7, and he forcibly dueled the monster, and the barrier immediately surrounded the 2 of them. Monster 5 also tried to attack the barrier, but it was impenetrable, and the system said, "For 1 minute, only Monster 7 can hurt you." And the 2 of them faced each other there. Kang Ta-san said, "This would be easy if Li Taidian was here, because he has the legendary equipment and stats from completing solo mode." Then Kang Ta-san also activated the addition skill, which could make his attack be doubled. Then he activated the multiplication skill, which made his attack be squared, and he activated the absolute judgment skill, which made all the opponent's defenses be ignored. After activating those skills, Kang Ta-san said defensive types can't damage Li Taedian, so he will take care of the long-range attackers first, then slowly kill the defensive attackers. But can't do that. The monster did not stand still. It looked like it was gathering strength in its mouth. Kang Ta-san had not made any moves yet. He said it doesn't matter if the monster is defensive or offensive type. With these stats, one attack will finish me off. Kang Ta-san also checked his current strength, and he said 9604. That's still not enough. Then Kang Ta-san activated a skill and the system said, "You have reactivated the designated skill. This skill cannot be activated again for a month. You have reset multiplication. You have activated multiplication. The current attack is squared." Kang Ta-san immediately gave a confident look, and the monster immediately fired its attack. Kang Ta-san said, "I should have attacked the monster that had lower blood first. The only thing I can rely on is my skill." Kang Ta-san also tried to avoid the attack by approaching the mouth of the monster, and when he was there, he read 9604 squared. That's not even close to 100 million. Then Kang Ta-san shouted, "That's why I have to reach my limit." Then he activated the copy skill, which made the next attack hit twice. Kang Ta-san immediately stabbed the monster, and his attack dealt 92 million damage. And because he activated the copy skill, his attack dealt damage once again, and he defeated the monster. Kang Ta-san also looked exhausted, but suddenly Monster 5 shot his attack, and it caused Ta-san to receive 22,543 damage. Then Kang Ta-san immediately activated the Endure skill. The system said, "Fatal attack cancelled. All damage for 5 seconds is reduced to 0. Kang Ta-san also looked a little staggered, but he did not give up. After receiving the attack, Ta-san immediately moved quickly and stabbed the monster, and his attack dealt 48 damage. Kang Ta-san also said, "All my absolute nullification has been spent, and I only have one defense skill. From now on, it's a simple fight, dodge, attack, repeat. But now the problem here is..." Then the screen of his status appeared, and it was written that he only had 21 magic points out of 820 magic points. Kang Ta-san said, "I have no more skills. 1.2 million HP needs to be cut down with just regular attacks. Simply put, I need to hit this monster 25,000 times. I'm going to go crazy this time." Then day after day, Kang Ta-san continued to fight with the monster. The monster's health points continued to decrease, and with great difficulty the health points of the monster was only 125,000 left. Kang Ta-san looked exhausted, but he didn't give up. He shouted and attacked the monster again. The system said, "You are in a state of full concentration. Your body and mind are one. Magic power has been implanted in your soul. You have obtained the Interception Increase Soul skill. Since you have escaped the maze, you are unable to acquire the skill. Interception Increase has been sealed." Kang Ta-san said, "Shut up." And there was shown that the monster had fallen and was in a dying condition. Then Kang Ta-san immediately stabbed the monster, and his attack dealt 48 damage. Then the system told him that Monster 5 had fallen. Kang Ta-san looked so exhausted, and his breath was panting. Then the system said, "Gods from all dimensions cannot contain their amazement at your achievement." After that, Kang Ta-san said, "How long have I been fighting? It feels like it's been over a month. Damn statistics." Then with a bloody body and weak footsteps, he walked away from there, and he said, "Let's go back." Then he walked away from there, and the map detected that there was still one big red dot left. After reaching the town, he saw many dead players, and he said, "Beijangan." Along the way he walked, he continued to see many corpses everywhere. Kang Ta-san said, "You guys keep talking about how great you are as hard mode players. So why am I, the easy mode player, the only one left? Why did I come back from my victory to see that all of you are dead?" Then Kang Ta-san stopped his steps, and right in front of him, he saw Jum Jum Jun lying there. Kang Ta-san said, "Looks like you went to the netherworld, just like you said." Kang Ta-san also recalled the moment with Jum Jum Jun, who always smiled with him. Then Kang Ta-san looked to the other side, and there was a woman who had fallen there, and that person was Li Taedian. Kang Ta-san said, "The one who conquered the hardships of solo mode, and the one who has the strongest ranking in the world. And the one who killed him is..." Then from the ground appeared an eye-shaped monster, and someone appeared from there. Kang Ta-san said, "This apostle." The creature tried to attack Ta-san mentally, and he said, "You will soon meet death." Kang Ta-san said, "Shut up. Get that nonsense out of here." Because of his extraordinary determination, Ta-san was able to eliminate such mental attacks and the system said, successfully resisted. The apostle was surprised, and Ta-san immediately activated the aim true skill. Then he stabbed the creature, and the system could not tell how much damage he had done. Kang Ta-san was annoyed with the creature, and he said, "Come here, you bastard."